Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Very good afternoon, dear sisters and brothers of the 5th semester of International Program for Islamic Economic and Finance. See me again and see you again in this next course, Paris and friends. Practical application of qualitative research, or maybe I may say here is research methodology. Yeah. So before we start, dear sisters and brothers, this course basically is taught by our dear lecturers, Dr. Diah Dewanti, but due to her recovery, her condition right now, and she's being recovered, by the way, and then we pleased to teach this course. Yeah, even though we know that she is the expert one of this course, but we want to ensure that she recover fastly, and therefore I'm here just represent and replace her, yeah, for the teaching of research methodology. Okay, this course basically will be using the book Research Designed, written by John W. Criswell, yeah, qualitative and mixed methods approaches. So this book basically is freely downloaded through internet. So you not necessarily purchase this book, and we will show later on in my class. Yeah. And the next one, sisters and brothers, this course, this is methodology, basically comprises of the two parts. The first is quantitative research, and the second one is qualitative research. And these two research approaches will be taught by different lecturers. Yeah. So in the first X meeting, I will be the one that will be focusing on quantitative research, and the next X meeting will be subsequently followed by other lectures, yeah, that will be focusing on qualitative research. And this research basically will be marked through three different approaches. So the first one is test competency one times only, will be in the egg meeting. Yeah, it is around 20%. And the second one is the paper writing. So you are supposed to write a paper about quantitative research. It has weight around 20%. And the last one is a presentations, about 10%. And those things will be make individually, yeah, not group. And in terms of the topic, maybe you can just take the topic that you feel you are the expert most on that area. And the second qualitative research also will be like qualitative research, yeah, about the one's test competency, paper, and presentations. Okay, before we start to the course, any questions, suggestions, please?
Sir,
Yes.
I think this course is same like our previous course in the previous semester, which is Uh, in English, PPB. It's same, sir.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's good
we
then.
we write a research paper too.
That's good. That's good, Iren. So on this course, you just sharpen or strengthen your papers, yeah, and then we can do it easily then. Of course, in details will be other perspective will be given. Yeah. So if you have any other papers or you have already had a papers, then it must be fine and it can be used then to be strengthened and sharpened through this course. Eden. Any feedback, Eden?
Oh, okay, sir. No,
Okay,
just
that's good. That's fine. So I'm happy then if you have a paper during the IPBB so that we can compare and contrast and then strengthen and sharpen the contents. Okay.
okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Irene. Okay. Any other comment, feedback from others? Sigit, any comments?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. If there is no any comments, I'm trying to carry on the discussions. In terms of the books, I will share in my class maybe tomorrow, sisters, brothers. Yeah, but now we will try to little bit discuss about this one first. Okay. What do you know about the methodology and method, Sigit? Sigit Purnomo?
Pardon me, sir. Sorry, my signal is
Yeah, are you
weak,
there?
sir.
So,
Yeah.
what do you know about methodology, Sigit? What do you think about methodology?
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Sorry, sir.
What do you know about
Mati lampu,
methodology,
sir.
Sigit? Yes, Sigit. Okay, Sigit has a little bit problem. Lutfi, Faris, please. What do you know about methodology, Lutfi? Lutfi, are you there?
Sir,
Yes, please. What do you know about methodology, Lutfi?
uh, I think methodology is method to use for the research.
Okay. Um, you can see in the screen, basically, Sigit and friends, yeah, that methodology basically is the what view, your what view about particular object or topics. So what your views, yeah, if you see a particular issue or problems. In this regards, methodology can be detailed out into qualitative and quantitative. Yeah. What are the difference between qualitative and qualitative? According to the screen, qualitative methodology, yeah, refers to the what view qualitatively, yeah, about a particular research topic, yeah, and the example is the you can see there what the factors affecting the shares of Islamic banks. The comparisons between the performance of Islamic and conventional banks, models of Sharia banks. So it does mean that the qualitative approaches put emphasis on the topic that need to be more details. So the perspective is not to convince, but to explain. Yeah. Differently, quantitative research methodology is the worldview, yeah, about the topic that need to be empirically proved. Yeah. So for example, ratio formula of profit risk sharing, the ideal of the ideal profit sharing. And the second one, how to measure the index. And the third one is the return of the deposit for the maximum banking performance. So in quantitative, you should prove empirically. So you have to use some tools or instruments to prove that your worldview is correct. But in qualitative, somehow we are requested to explain why this one, not that. Yeah. The next one. Methodology and method is different. Method basically is the tools. So methodology refers to the worldview. Method refers to the tools or the instruments to analyze a particular topic of research. As in the methodology, yeah, the method as well has three different approaches: quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods. Which one that you will use? Yeah. And for example, here in qualitative method, you use this analysis of comparisons of bank operations, the trend of up and down of a particular indicators, analysis of the industry achievements, performance, and the fourth one is the opinion of the experts about particular public issues. So the method here, if you portray and you view, little bit requires explanations. You have to explore differently in the method, qualitative method. Yeah, you are using these econometric models, mathematic formula, and accounting or finance formula. It does mean that you need to invite some method that need to be proof it is correct or not by empirical evidences. This is the main difference in quali and quantitative. Next one. This is just a simple examples. Saya ingin ke Jogja. This statement considered to be methodology. So you have the directions, you have the perspective. I want to go to that. If you go to the Yogyakarta, for example, by bus, by travel, by train, yeah, by your personal cars and others, they are considered as method. So from these very simple examples, you can summarize and you can conclude that methodology is somehow to be the directions. Yeah. You have the overall or maybe big directions where you will go. And the method seems to be a tools how to reach your goals. So I don't know what the about the papers that you have written so far in your previous classes. Is it considered to be qualitative or quantitative? For example, in the case of a methodology, faktor-faktor penyebab turunnya laba. This is the methodology. And the regressions, LS, FAR, HM, scientific survey, interviews, is method. The next one. The formula of the profit risk sharing in banks is the methodology. Using the probability theory, using the optimal theory, using the interviews, it is the method. Models of the Islamic banking operations, this is the methodology. By using literatures, by using interviews, focus group discussions, survey, and others, they are methods. So those are the overall and general descriptions about the methodology and method in research. Any discussions or questions, sisters, brothers, please? Any discussions? Okay, if you have no discussions, I will show you what the thing that we will learn during the first IPIEF meeting. Before we continue to the first meeting. Okay. So this one, the one that we are going to learn of the first IPIEF meeting. The first is the selections of a research approach. So now we are going to discuss the first chapter, the selection of the research approach. The second one is the review of the literatures, how you conduct literature's review. The third chapter, the use of the theories. Chapter 4, writing strategies and ethical considerations. The chapter 5, introductions. Chapter 6, the purpose statement. Chapter 7, research questions and hypotheses. And the last chapter, quantitative methods, and also the research reports. So those are the ones that will be intensively discussed during the first IPIEF meeting of this course. Maybe some of them look alike with your previous meeting. Doesn't matter if you have learned before. So this activities is to strengthen and detail out the understanding that you have before. Okay, any other question before we continue, please? Okay, next one. If you have no questions. Okay, we go to the first chapter. Sorry, the first chapter about determining the research approach. So as I mentioned before, sisters and brothers, we have three different approaches: qualitative research, quantitative research, and mixed method research. In qualitative research, you explore and understand the meaning individuals or group ascribe to a social or human problems. So you try to run the discussion on how you solve the problem by exploring the issues. Usually, if you use this qualitative research, you go into the field and you take some information directly from the individuals involving in that particular issues. Yeah. And the second one is quantitative research. It is usually testify the theories, the examining relationship among variables. So if your paper or your research tries to correlate or relate between the independent and dependent variables, and you want to testify that this theory is correct or not correct, yeah, it does mean that you are now using quantitative research. And the last one is mixed method research. You're collecting both approaches above to provide a more complete understanding of a research problem. You try to combine between the quality and quantitative research in the same time. So from the language perspective, qualitative research basically refers to the inductive research. So inductive research means you try to learn from the field and you try to look for the theories then. Yeah. But quantitative research somehow you are starting from the theory, and from the theory you try to test whether this theory is correct or not. Therefore, the approaches somehow is considered as the deductive approaches. So you have the theory and you want to test whether this theory is confirmed or not confirmed. Yeah. And the last one, mixed method, try to combine both. The next one is the word view. As I mentioned before, that either qualitative or quantitative research basically is ascribed from the what view. What view of whom? The authors, the writers of the papers. So what your what views before you start writing the papers? In here, we are dividing into several what views. The first, sisters and brothers, is post-positivism. Post-positivism has some characteristics. The first one is about determinations. And if your worldview is post-positivism, you try to explain by look at the causes determine effect or outcome. So there's a cause and effect. There's a cause and effect. There's independent variables, there's dependent variables. Yeah. You try to correlate and relate both. And second one is that reductionisms. You reduce the ideas into a small and simple things. Example to only what's stated in the hypothesis and research questions. I think you have imagination right now. So if you try to conduct post-positivism worldview, you try to minimize your problem into a set of research problem. For example, you have a topic, factors affecting economic growth, and you have some variables. For example, interest rate. For example, exchange rate. For example, yeah, money supplies. For example, and you take these three independent variables into your account, and expecting that these three independent variables will affect to your dependent variables, namely economic growth. But on this case, you try to simplify the factors of economic growth by only taking these three indicators. So in this case, you apply reductionisms. Yeah. And the third one, empirical observation and measurements. You measure the existing problem and test its behavior. Exactly, this is the quantitative research. So having you understood the independent and dependent variables, you try to relate those things by taking some methods such as aggregation, HM, and so forth. Yeah, and then you obtain that this positive negative relationship. Yeah, so this is based on empirical observation and measurements. And the last one, theory verifications. You testing the existing theories. Therefore, if you conducting this positivism research, you have to put some theories, related theories. If you conduct research on economic growth, you take some theories about the concept of economic growth, yeah, the theories concerning economic growth, yeah, and you indirectly try to test whether your finding in the end confirm the existing theories. So if you all conduct these four characteristics, you are considered as the post-positivism. So your worldview is post-positivism. So your research is based on the observation in the field, but you try to simplify that thing into several indicators only. And you conduct some tests by using quantitative methods, mathematic approaches, statistic approach to confirm your theories. This is the first view. And the second one is transformative. What the characteristic of transformative? The first is political. Yeah. So somehow the people that conduct this kind of perspective or worldview, they have the assumptions, yeah, that the law of the theories, yeah, the existing laws and the existing theories did not fit marginalized individuals. So the existing theories and existing concept cannot answer the problems that are faced by the society at large. So you have the spirit of transformation then. You no longer use the laws and theories, but you more focus on these marginalized individuals. And the second one is power and justice oriented. So the research conducted to help marginalized people. So you try to help them. You want to transform the life. That cannot be solved by taking the post-positivism research. Yeah. And the third characteristic is collaborative. So you invite so many people, yeah. You unite some groups into one voice to reform and change. Yeah. So this is look like the transformational leadership. Yeah. And the last but not least is change and oriented. So the research can improve the marginalized individual. So in the end, your research not only just showing this positive, negative, and so what after that. What the impact having done the research? What you contribute to the society, having understood this positive and negative. But if you conduct a transformative worldview, your research has impact to improve a marginalized individuals. Is the second one. The third one is constructivism. Constructivism. So what are the characteristics of this constructivisms worldview? The first is understanding. So these authors or these people tries to understand the world in which they live and work. So you're observing. You go into the field. You go into the society. You involving in some society activities. Yeah. And after that, you take multiple participant meanings. So you look for the complexity of views rather than narrow the meaning. So you try to get some views by taking interviews, by taking focus group discussions, yeah, from many part of the people or groups, in order to get some broaden what views, yeah, about the problems. And the third one is social and historical constructions. Yeah. So you not only just talking to them, you not only just asking about the problem, but you interact as well with them and share your personal views in order to construct their views. Yeah. So for example, here in a society, yeah, there is a poverty names traditional poverty. Yeah. Traditional poverty is the poverty that people is love to be poverty in living in the poor people as a poor people. So they themselves do not want to be prosper. They're enjoying the life as a poor people. So if you conducting this constructivism approach, you interact with them and give them the understanding how to transform the mind and mindset, not only just happy with the poor, but maybe better in terms of the life. And the fourth one is theory generations. So in the end, because you are trying to transform the existing situations by taking the experiments, you're taking the experience from the people in the field, so you can generate your own theories. Yeah, you can generate your own perspective because you don't being scope, yeah, or being in the very narrow situations, yeah, but you are having very large society, yeah. So in other words, constructivism's view tries to improve the existing conditions, yeah, with the better conditions. And the last but not least is that the pragmatisms, yeah, pragmatism. What is pragmatism? So consequences of actions, the characteristic. A worldview arises out of action, situation, and consequences rather than antecedent condition. Something happened before it was post-positivism. So it means that uh, you 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 just following the situations. You are pragmatic one. Pragmatic meaning that you don't want to be so spirit, yeah, or you have a good movement, yeah, but you just want to know the situation inside there. And but you have a problem centered, yeah. So you focus on the problem, not not the method. Because in the research, sisters and brothers, we have to differentiate between the problem and method. So method is the essence, and the problem is the essence, and the method is the tools how to solve the problem. In the previous view, yeah, between the problem and the method, they are dynamically interacted each other. So in order to solve the problem, you have to find out the method. But in the pragmatism's approach, you focus only to the problem, regardless what method you are going to use, because you are going to solve the problem. Therefore, because you are focused on the problem, yeah, you have pluralistic approach, pluralistic minded, open minded, yeah. So you have you receive so many views, you receive so many suggestions, and in the end, is the real world practice oriented. So this one is basically is more to the real practice. The one that focus on pragmatism usually is the practitioners. Practitioners is real world practice oriented. They not to be more in theories, but they want to be in practice. This the fourth approach is pragmatism. So based on these four worldview, you can locate yourself now. Which one that you prefer to? Whether you are post-positivism, whether you are constructivism, whether you are pragmatism, or you are maybe transformative. Unfortunately, majority of the people or the students in university, they are taking or they are locating themselves as post-positivism because they just want to relate between dependent and independent in simplistic ways. Yeah. Okay, the next one. Having understood the word view, so now we are going to research approach. In quantitative research, basically, sisters and brothers, we differentiate the two items. The first is experimental design and non-experimental design. Experimental means you conducting some experiments. Yeah. From this regard, treatments influences and outcomes. So experimental design meaning that treatments influences an outcome or causal relationship. And this experimental design mainly used by post-positivism worldviews. So if your worldviews right now try to differentiate between the independent and dependent variables and you conduct some data, you use the data and then you employ the data into statistical approach and you find out the relationship, then you are conducting quantitative with experimental design because you try to link and match between the qualitative independent and independent variables. And the way around, if the non-experimental design, numeric description of trend, attitudes, or opinions of population by studying sample of it. So you try to describe in numerics, usually using tables, figures, yeah, about the trend, attitude, yeah, and opinion about population, but in the numeric one. So this one is called quantitative with non-experimental design. You just explain numerically. Yeah, like that example. Okay, this is the chapter 1, sisters and brothers. Any discussions or you have any inquiries perhaps about the chapter 1, please? Any discussions? Any questions, sisters, brothers? Okay. If you have no questions, I'm trying to stop to this one first. Yeah. We go to first chapter first. Yeah. And maybe I want to get your views. Yeah. By putting in my class. Yeah. What the approach of research that you have in mind, particularly qualitative research. Yeah, whether you are post-positivism or maybe transformative or constructivism or pragmatism. And please put some arguments concerning the reasons why your worldview is there. Of course, it must be related with your uh, plan research. Yeah, because you will develop a research paper in the end of the program. So this research basically is based on what views. Yeah. Okay, sisters and brothers, I will share this slide to you per chapter, inshallah, doesn't matter. Yeah, I will put into my class. And in terms of attendance, I will put your attendance automatically. Yeah. And since next week, hopefully you have already been actively involved in the discussions. Okay, Sigit, any discussion, Sigit, please?
Sir,
Yes, please, Chika, yes.
don't forget to add me in this
subject also, sir, because I'm not joined yet to the my
Yeah,
class.
everybody here. Yeah, everybody is not yet invited, Kika,
Ah,
because I'm
okay.
still completing my class actually. Yeah. So therefore, the attendance will be assessed. I will assess individual of you to put your attendance. Yeah. But you can use the my class since next week, inshallah, or next since the day after tomorrow, inshallah. Yeah, Kika. Okay. Any other comments, feedback, and question, please, sisters, brothers? Fitra, Vandana, Ahmad, please. Safira, you have any questions, Safira?
No, sir. I think enough.
Okay, if enough, then I'll stop the discussions. Please, I need your feedback. I will put in the my class then, yeah, about your research, what views according to the slide that I mentioned, and then you may put your planned topics, yeah, that will be used for your paper and presentations. Yeah, I'll put in the my class, and you can just write down there. Yeah. Okay, that's all for a while, sisters and brothers. Because it's the first class, I know that you don't have any enough idea how to ask the questions, but hopefully next week we can start the discussion and question and answers. Yeah. Okay, that's all for a while. Mbak Iren, ya, Mbak Nadila, Noni, Wendy, ya, Sigit, Kika, Baik, Safira, and friends. Yeah. Inshallah, see you next week. And I will put all the things in details in my class. And then please you just follow subsequently. And if you have some question and inquiries, please don't hesitate to just contact personally. Okay, that's all. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. We end with Alhamdulillah together. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. See you next week, insyaAllah. Ya, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi